Hey everybody, welcome back to 608 Fab. We are in the shop today working on the buggy. Left off with the carnage that was potential in the rear axle of this thing when we came back from the 15-hour nightmare ride at Flat Nasty. So I've got the axle shafts popped loose. I slid them back in after I got the carrier out and just to store them. Got the carrier out and I pulled that carrier apart. Let's show you what we got going on. This is our first legitimate failure. We had some ups and downs with the transmission early on. That was a COVID deal. Parts suppliers really dropped the ball. It let us down a little bit right out of the gate, but we knew we had problems from the day I twisted the key on the thing. So through that first season, we had some ups and downs. But now this is legitimately the first thing we've broken. So I'm feeling pretty good. And honestly, I don't even think it broke. It just failed. And luckily, it didn't cause catastrophic failure. So let me show you what we got. So this guy here is what they call a mini spool. All right. That little bugger drops into the two-piece carrier of a 14 bolt. So the 14 bolt splits in two. The ring gear bolts hold it together. Inside that, your cross shafts, spider gears, etc. normally live. So you split the halves and you drop this guy in. These pins right here act like the cross pins to drive the axle shafts through this spool, mini spool, where normally these would have the little spider gears running on them. So one exited the chat, and that's the one I found in my hand the other day, hanging out right here. Tip that guy over. This one was also trying to exit the chat, and it appears to me that they are just pressed in. So I don't know if we built some heat in something, but there's no threads. If there were threads, you'd expect to see like an Allen screw here, or for an Allen wrench, a hex, and that would be tapped and threaded and drilled in or tightened in with a bunch of Loctite or something, but it's just pressed in. So the only thing I can kind of think of is at some point in history, maybe one of the cross pins spun in this and damaged one of these shaft slots. And if I look at it, now that I'm looking at it a little bit more here on camera, this one has some galling in it. These do not. So I am thinking, yeah, these are nice and clean. This one's got some damage in it, and so does this one here. So what I'm thinking is they're counting on this carrier to sandwich that, as well as being a press fit into that spool, and just hold everything together. I could put this all back together, press the pin back into the hole, probably figure out a way to drill it, tap it, weld it, etc. But at the same time, when that pin came out, we got damn lucky that it didn't kill the ring gear. It didn't wedge itself into the housing somewhere and punch a hole in the housing, which would have really been a sucky day, because we've got truss on it. We've got all of our suspension links on it. We would have had to start over from scratch. But I inspected everything in here. That's just a little flake of something there. And at no given point in time did that pin get into this housing anywhere. Thank God. And thank God probably because I did leave a magnet in the bottom of it. And when I found that pin, it was laying right here in the very bottom, kind of half stuck to that magnet, kind of half riding on the back side of that ring gear. But it legitimately came out when I pulled into camp, I think. I do not think that that thing was bouncing around in there, because on this carrier, where are we at? This dent, which has a matching ding, let's see if we put the two halves together, I'll leave them a little separated. There's a matching ding right here to that. And I found one other spot That has a whisker of damage there. And I could have swore there was one other spot, but two little tiny spots of impact damage. If this would have come apart at high speed, which we were, running 20 miles an hour back to camp, that could have just ruined everything. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order a spool, not a mini spool again, not counting on that holding itself together. I want to say that's Alloy USA. Don't quote me on that, but I kind of searched around the internet. I can't find the email from the shipping slip and all that good jazz of when I ordered that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was. But I'm pretty sure that's Alloy USA part. I'm going to probably just go to a Yukon spool or a Revolution Gear spool, whatever's available. Either through one of my suppliers at my day job work or through, one of the online retailers. So just pull the bearings off this carrier. The bearings, everything is minty and perfect. I'm going to save the bearings off of it, press those onto the new spool, and set a new set of ring gear bolts. You never reuse ring gear bolts. Clean everything up, slap it back together. We've got parts. Parts have been shipping in for the last week, and we're getting things put back together. It's a chilly, cooling down Saturday here in Wisconsin, and we're just getting ready for winter. We actually might see a little bit of snow tonight. Not cool. So here's what I ordered up. We've got this guy right here, which is the Revolution Gear spool. I was able to order this guy through one of my suppliers at work and got it. I think I ordered it last Friday, got it on Monday or Tuesday, something like that. So super fast shipping. Online retailers, $202. So you can't beat that kind of money. I would have ordered it actually direct through Revolution Gear because they treated me very good on some other stuff years ago, but they actually didn't have it in stock, which was kind of funny, which is actually kind of cool at the same time. That means they're utilizing their parts suppliers scattered all over the country, so you should be able to find one of these quite rapidly and not have to wait for one to ship direct from Revolution. So again, this is a solid spool. This, for those that don't understand or haven't had a rear end apart or an axle apart, this is a common carrier. So inside of this, there's the spider gears, the cross shafts. I had upgraded that to the spool, which I actually drove the pins back in with the dead blow, hanging on the shelf for another day maybe, weld something up in a cheaper project. That chunk was in there and let us down. So by deleting this cast carrier, we'll delete some torsional rigidity issues in it. Potential, I don't have enough horsepower for that, but the big power guys do. And we're gonna just be passing it through this big chunk of iron here. So this is all machined, and inside you can see it's splined for the axle shafts and should really never fail. New ring gear bolts. This is all bolted down, torqued up with red Loctite. There's the old bolts. I did not reuse them. Those I sourced through East Coast Gear Supply. They had them in stock. They were the least expensive. I paid about $40, I think, for the 12 ring gear bolts. They matched what came in the original gear set of this. So that was pretty cool. And then while I was there, I grabbed a couple of new 1350 U-bolt strap kit parts. So I was going to reuse the bearings, and I found out they're cheap enough to not have to fight with them. Years and years ago, I was trying to salvage some 14-bolt ring gear or 14-bolt carrier bearings and changed the shape of my thumb forever. So that memory came back to me 30 years later. 28 years later, been a while, and I just decided to buy some new bearings. So we're gonna clean up the housing, get this thing slapped in. Well, rear axle done. Got spool in it, got the cover on it, got the drive shafts in it, filled it full of oil, and that part of the party is a wrap. So replaced a couple of drive shaft U-bolt straps while we were there. I got to get a grease zerk for one of the U-joints on the front shaft. Brock must have found the grease zerk nipple, so got to replace that. And then it's on to the next project in this thing. So we're going to give it a pretty significant upgrade. So I posted on the Facebook page a little snapshot of what that's going to be, and I'll give you a little bit more of a teaser here. There's the Aces EFI box. So we've been running carburetors. Edelbrock actually outperformed the Quadrajet. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a whole different video on this. There's the teaser. We've got Aces EFI coming on this thing. New fuel cell, some chassis modifications to fit the fuel cell, and a whole lot of wiring to do. So thanks for watching as always. Like, share, and subscribe. And in the meantime, do something cool in your garage. I'm gonna clean this mess up and start the next part of this party.